Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. Prince Andrew will not face charges in connection to his ties with Jeffrey Epstein. The FBI has officially ended its investigation into the Duke of York and other high-profile associates of the late convicted sex offender, a decision that has triggered outrage among Epstein's victims. The conclusion follows a multi-year probe led by officials under the Trump-era Department of Justice and FBI leadership. A two-page memo from investigators said they found no evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties, adding that pushing unfounded theories about Epstein serves neither justice nor the victims. One survivor, now a 36-year-old mother of two who was abused by Epstein and received compensation from his estate, spoke out after the decision. She told the Mirror, "It is both disgraceful and degrading to all victims that not one man has been held accountable for the decades of abuse inflicted by Epstein and his buddies." She also expressed particular grief for Virginia Jeffrey, the woman at the heart of the allegations against Prince Andrew. Ginny gave many of us the courage to speak up. It seems that everything she worked tirelessly for has been in vain. Andrew is rebuilding his life while Ginny's children have lost their mum. Jeffrey died by suicide in April. The DOJ maintains that no so-called client list has ever been recovered and that claims of such a document stem from what it described as politically motivated conspiracy theories. Officials say release of hours of CCTV footage from Epstein's final days in custody support the official finding of suicide. Attorney General Pam Bondi, who had previously distributed Epstein case files to pro-Trump influencers, came under fire earlier this year when those materials were found to contain little new information. Prince Andrew was previously accused by a civil suit by Virginia Jeffrey, who claimed she was trafficked by Epstein to the Duke when she was underage under U.S. law. Jeffrey alleged 3 specific incidents, including one in London in 2001, supported by a now infamous photo of Andrew with his arm around her bare waist. The Duke denied all allegations, saying he had no recollection of meeting her, offering in a 2019 Newsnight interview a bizarre explanation that he could not have been sweating on the night in question due to a medical condition he claimed to have developed during the Falklands War. With the FBI investigation now closed and no criminal charges expected, the decision is likely to inflame ongoing criticism that justice has never been fully served in the Epstein case, particularly where powerful men are concerned. 20 years after the horrors of the July 7th bombings in London, Charles says the day will never be forgotten. The coordinated suicide attacks on London's transport network in 2005 killed 52 innocent people and injured more than 770. To honour the victims, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh will attend a national service of commemoration at St Paul's Cathedral, while the Prince of Wales is expected to join survivors and victims' families at the Hyde Park Memorial Gardens. In a statement, the King said, "My heartfelt thoughts and special prayers remain with all those whose lives were forever changed on that terrible summer's day." He added, "We remember with profound sadness the 52 innocent people who were killed in senseless acts of evil and the enduring grief of their loved ones." The King also spoke of the extraordinary courage and compassion shown that day, praising emergency services, transport workers, and ordinary citizens who ran toward danger. Their selfless bravery reminds us of the very best of humanity in the face of the very worst, he said. He went on to highlight how the attacks, though horrific, led to a spirit of unity. While the horrors will never be forgotten, we may take comfort from the way such events rally communities together in solidarity, solace, and determination. A warm welcome steeped in history and ceremony awaits President Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte as they arrive in the UK for a French state visit hosted by King Charles and Queen Camilla. The 3-day visit will centre around Windsor Castle with all the familiar pomp of a royal occasion, just relocated as Buckingham Palace remains under renovation. The shift in setting means the ceremonial start will look a little different. Instead of London's Horse Guards Parade, President Macron will be met at RAF North Holt by the Prince and Princess of Wales, before being driven to Windsor where the formalities begin. On arrival, King Charles will greet the French president for the official welcome, followed by a grand carriage procession through the town to Windsor Castle with Queen Camilla, Madame Macron and the Waleses also taking part. The day continues with lunch at the castle before President Macron briefly departs for London. He returns in the evening for the state banquet, an opulent affair at Windsor, with the royal family in attendance and the crown jewels on full display. King Charles and President Macron will both deliver speeches at the glittering tiara-clad event. Day 2 brings a moment of reflection. President Macron, who has frequently expressed his admiration for the late Queen Elizabeth II, will privately visit her tomb at St. George's Chapel to pay his respects with Madame Macron. Then it's back to business, with King Charles personally guiding the French president through the Windsor Gardens, focusing on biodiversity and sustainability. The visit will also include a glimpse of a royal historical gem, a charabanc carriage gifted to the Queen Victoria by King Louis Philippe of France in 1844. That afternoon, King Charles and Queen Camilla will take their leave as the Macrons head to Downing Street for lunch with Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer and his wife Victoria. The evening sees another banquet, this one hosted by the Lord Mayor of London, with the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester accompanying the French guests. The visit concludes on July 10th as President Macron and Prime Minister Starmer attend a UK-France summit at number 10. More Palace in just a moment. Our spin-off series, Crown and Controversy, kicks off on July 13th. With Season 1 taking a look at the courtship of William and Kate, there will be new episodes every Sunday on its own feed. So follow Crown and Controversy on your podcast app. If you'd like to listen to the entire season right now and commercial-free, along with this show, become a premium subscriber to Calroga Plus. For just $5 a month, you'll get this show without ads, Crown and Controversy's full season available ad-free right now, plus 25 other series on the network, all without ads or feed drops. If you're on Apple Podcasts, click on the banner that says uninterrupted listening, and you can even get a 30-day free trial of the service. And for other podcast apps, just go to calaroga.com/plus, and the link is in the show notes. Crown and Controversy launches July 13th. In a quiet but symbolic serve to modernization, King Charles has relaxed the famously rigid dress code at Buckingham Palace's private tennis court, allowing players to wear colours rather than the traditional all-white. The change, described by palace officials as preferred but not essential, marks a rare departure from centuries of British sporting tradition. Until now, those using the exclusive court in the palace gardens, including members of the royal family, household staff and their guests, were expected to follow the unwritten rule of tennis whites, much like Wimbledon. The king, known for his own formal approach to dress, reportedly made the decision to help players feel less restricted by protocol. The Royal Collection Trust calls it London's most exclusive tennis court, constructed in 1919 on palace grounds and steeped in royal history. King George VI once faced off against Wimbledon legend Fred Perry there, while in 2000 Bjorn Borg and John McEnroe played a fundraising match hosted by Prince Andrew. While the king himself isn't known to pick up a racket, his son and daughter-in-law, the Prince and Princess of Wales, are avid tennis fans and regulars at Wimbledon, where Kate serves as royal patron. There, however, tradition reigns supreme. The All England Club continues to enforce its almost entirely white rule, allowing no more than 10 millimetres of colour, even in undergarments. Wimbledon's stricter code has softened only slightly in recent years, with dark undershorts permitted for female players in 2023 after pressure from Billie Jean King, Judy Murray and others. But don't expect neon trainers at centre court any time soon. As Venus Williams and Roger Federer can attest, even the smallest splash of colour has drawn scrutiny from the all-white brigade. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or the app of your choice, and leave us a nice review if you're enjoying the show. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue, and good times.